In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Well, we've been talking about Holy Spirit for a long time. We started talking about how He's been with us since the beginning of creation. And how now, because of Jesus and His sacrifice, when we say yes to Him, bam, in a moment, we are made new, holy and righteous, and God Himself, Jesus Himself, by Holy Spirit, comes and dwells on the inside of us. And so with Holy Spirit inside us, we have power. We have the power of God. We have the power of the love of God. And so we talked about how that power helps us stand and witness the truthfulness and the faithfulness of God. And then we talked about how the power that raised Jesus from the dead dwells on the inside of us, that we might have power to walk in health in this realm. Holy Spirit manifests in us the health that Jesus paid for when He took stripes before the cross. Well, I want to show you another example of that out of the Old Testament. We're not supposed to pull doctrine out of the Old Testament, but we are supposed to look to the Old Testament to see how things unfold sometimes. And I want to show you Holy Spirit in the story of Gideon. Well, I imagine many of you know about the story of Gideon. How there were the Amalekites and the Midianites, and it says the sons of the east, that would assemble and come against the children of Israel, and they would steal their livestock, and they would destroy their crops and steal the fruit of their crops. And this happened time and time again. Well, eventually the children of Israel had had enough. And so they cried out to the Lord that He would put an end to this. So the Lord called on Gideon. We see in chapter 6, verse 33 and 34, it says this: all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the sons of the east assembled themselves, and they crossed over and camped in the valley of Jezreel. They were coming against the children of Israel. And it says in verse 34, and this is why we're talking about this morning, so the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon. There you go. And he blew a trumpet and he called together all his warriors. Well, there were something over 100,000 of the Midianites and Amalekites. And when Gideon called his army together, there were about 32,000 to fight against them. If 32,000 went up against over 100,000, they would lose. But if God is doing it, see, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon. And Gideon said, I want you to see his perspective. It's verse 36. Gideon said to God, if you will deliver Israel through me as you have spoken. See, there it is. It's the same today. If God will bring victory through us against whatever enemies we face. Well, I tell you this story because we face enemies every day. They are spiritual enemies. It's Satan and his demons, and they want to take us down. And we need to fight against him, and the way we fight against him is by the Holy Spirit that's on the inside of us. Now, let me just finish the Gideon story real quickly. He had 32,000, and God said, that's too many. And so he whittled it down to 10,000. God said, that's still too many. And he whittled it down to 300. We had 300 children of Israel go up against over 100,000 of the Midianites and Amalekites and termites and I don't know what all the ites were that they were fighting against. But they fought them not even with swords. They fought them with trumpets and torches. And when they lit the torches and blew the trumpets, the Midianites and Amalekites, they all fought against each other and ran. The victory was won because the Lord was in the midst. Okay, if they had picked up swords, they'd have lost. If they'd have tried to do it on their own, they'd have lost. But because the Lord did it through them, they were the victor. I read something on Facebook just a day or two ago, and it said this: you can pray all you want, but eventually David had to pick up a stone and act against Goliath. Well, if the Lord hadn't picked up the stone through David, Goliath would not have gone down. Goliath was defeated because of God alive on the inside of David. And so just like Gideon said to God, if you will deliver Israel through me, God delivered Goliath through David. And God will deliver all of our enemies before us, through us, if we'll let him do it. That's the power of Holy Spirit on the inside of us. Behold that today. Let's get together again tomorrow. I look forward to that. God bless you.